go. Actually, let me turn off my cell phone. There's only one bar left. Okay. Can you hear me? Everyone hears me okay? Great.
I don't know if the mic's on.
Testing. It doesn't, I mean, we're all here. Does everyone hear me okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for coming on this cold night. Let's see. Thank you to Bluestocking for putting me up. Thank you for putting me up. And let's see. Okay. And what else? I feel like I should dedicate this to like to Heath Ledger or something. Everyone's like talking about his death all day, but also his low budget other actor who died last week, Brad Renfro. Everyone forgot about his drug related death. Anyway, okay. The swing voter of Staten Island. Can everyone hear me without the mic? Great. The swing voter of Staten Island is an alternate history of our country. It's also a bit of a departure for me. It's kind of an action adventure. There's my. Excuse me. There's two friends. Have a seat. Quantum. All right. Basically, the story is a terrorist attack on New York in 1970 makes the city largely uninhabitable. In Nevada, the federal government has set up a rescue city, temporary city, kind of a la New Orleans for the poor, but it slowly turns into a detainment center. Yulee, the central character, finds himself stuck in this strange facsimile of New York. Actually, the art designer did such a nice job. This is kind of a kidney-like New York. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Anyway, I have some stickers if anyone wants a sticker. Yeah. I'll pass them out afterwards. Anyway, all right. Suffering from acute amnesia, Yulee discovers a disillusioned populace fiercely divided into two camps, the We the Peoplers, nicknamed the Piggers, and the All Are Created Equalers, commonly called the Crappers. Yulee wants out, but gradually gets pulled in and finds strange, inexplicable things. I could also mention, by the way, that this is the first of what will be kind of well, there'll be a sequel. I don't know how far it'll go, but it should be coming out, I guess, later this year, early next year. All right, here we go. Actually, I'm going to use the mic for this. Wake up now. Wake up. Get the hell up. Go. What? The sun was bright in the doorway, so it had to be the next morning. Yulee was hanging upside down with his hands bound together. She's going to torture you. You're going to have one chance and that's it. Help me, Yulee mumbled. Where are you? It was the blonde man, yet the voice was female. How could this be? I don't know where. Sweat was dripping down his face. Looking around, he saw that he was all alone. After a minute, he dismissed the entire dialogue as the afterwash of a bizarre dream. An awful sulfuric stench pulled him to full consciousness. He appeared to be in a barnyard. His lower section was numb with pain. He could hear the mentally challenged man, Auric, shrieking nearby. How do you know about the blast? Yulee heard a woman shouting. During an interlude of silence, Yulee figured something sinister was underway. Sure enough, Auric started screaming terribly. Talk, you fat fucking retard! Great neck, Auric groaned. Little neck. Great neck. Little neck. What are you talking about? What's this neck shit? Dark. Dark, Auric heaved. Then light. What does this shit mean? He recognized the voice. It was Diane Calder, the Feedmore lobbyist. That was the company that stocked the place. Yulee could hear her engaging in some kind of strenuous activity. Maybe she was punching Auric? It didn't last long. To the frenzied squeal of pigs across the barn, Auric was shouting, No, please don't hurt Auric, please don't. Yulee mustered all his strength, flexing his waist to catch a glimpse of the knot above his knees. Then he heard a loud thud. Shit, you fat fuck! Brother, brother! Auric was continuously screaming now. Scat! Get out of there! He heard Diane shouting over the shrieks. Serves you right, you should have told me. In a moment, her footsteps were marching toward Yulee. He dropped his arms back down and laid limp, pretending to be unconscious. The lobbyist paused before him, then poked him hard in the stomach. He didn't budge. As she crouched low to inspect his lifelessness, Yulie sprung his arms outward and wrapped his bound wrists over her blown-out, highlighted hair. "Wait a sec!" He yanked her head sharply forward, dislocating her vertebral column. With a crunch, she fell into a perfect seated position. "Oh my God," she said slowly. "I can't move." He had paralyzed her. Only her mouth still worked. Like a broken robot, she manically recited statistics, underscoring how piggers were morally, intellectually, and economically superior to crappers. She was a true partyist. Yulie twisted on his rope like a large marlin on a hook. Behind him, hanging from a nail, he saw a rusty scythe veiled under years of dusty cobwebs. "I didn't mean to hurt him." Yulie swung backwards and caught the wheat cutter in his bound hands. He squeezed the wooden handle up between his knees. Oric's shrieks were unbearable now. "I was only trying to scare him." "What'd you do?" Yulie asked as he frantically rubbed his knotted wrists over the rusty tool. He was yelling strange shit. He kept saying great neck, little neck. Guess he was talking about my neck. "He's psychic," Yulie explained, cutting through the final strands. Once free, he began sawing through the cords holding his ankles together. The dried-out rope snapped, and Yulie fell, collapsing on top of Diane Calder. "Shit!" she shouted. A car screeched to a halt outside. Yulie grabbed the rusty scythe, hit against the side of the barn, and waited. "Help, quick!" Diane squealed, now lying flat on her back. "He's in here!" A large man rushed inside. Yulie swung the scythe deep into the front of the guy's neck, severing his jugular. It was the man in the goofy hat who had kidnapped him and Oric at Astor Place. He grabbed his neck wound and dropped to his knees, and gurgled slowly to death. With scythe in hand, Yulie dashed out to the pen. 4 large wild hogs were chewing on the tied-up limbs and torso of Oric's bloody body. Yulie could see their teeth tearing through the poor man's flesh as though it were raspberry pudding. When he kicked one of the animals away, it tried to bite him. He slashed and stabbed at their fat, hairy backs with the rusty weapon. When the biggest one charged, Yulie jabbed it right in the eye. The hog squealed insanely with blood shooting forth, causing the others to dash off. He used the opportunity to heave Oric out over the rails of the bloody pen. Among his many wounds, Oric's right shoulder was eaten clean to the bone. The hogs had chewed into his belly and bit into his scalp, inadvertently pulling a long T-shaped device out of his skull. Oric was still conscious. Placing him gently on his back, Yulie tried to tie a tourniquet around his gnawed arm, but 2 of the worst bites on his torso had severed major veins and arteries. The poor man was bleeding to death, and there was nothing Yulie could do. "I'm so sorry, Oric," Yulie said. It's okay, friend," the dying man muttered. "The carnivals abducted me. Had some goddamn scientist shove that thought cuff into my skull." "What?" "They knew I had some basic psychic gifts, and by retarding me, they could enhance those abilities." "My God. You're the only one who figured it out. Carnival was using my predictions to change the outcome of local elections." Oric was gasping for breath and consciousness. You have it. "What?" Oric moved his mouth, but nothing came out. Do I have a cross in my head?" That might explain the voices he had been hearing since he had arrived.